Bronwyn, it's time once again for a U.S. Clay catch-up. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to all of us about the FIA Seraphim & Co. U.S. Men's Clay Court Championship. We're picked this week to catch up because the ATP Finals are going on in London. It's the last event of the year, but it's also the last year for this tournament to be held in London. You've had the chance to go to the O2 and see these matches. Does it feel as incredible in the venue as it appears to on TV?
It does, definitely. The ATP does a fantastic job of truly putting on a show. I think that's the one stage of the year where the players get excited because it feels like, to me, it feels a little bit like you're in a movie. There's an entrance and there's smoke and fog and mirrors and big lights. And, we don't do that when it's a tournament outside. It has a total feel to it. So it's really exciting. Combine that with London is one of my favorite cities in the world. I thoroughly have enjoyed going there every year. I'm definitely sad not to be there right now, but under the circumstances, right decision to be made. I'm just glad they're getting the chance to finish out the year and have the finals. It's a great testament to the players who are there and have persevered through all that we have through the last few months.
They split the players into two groups, and in doubles, they are acknowledging the greatest of all time. There are two groups, the Bob Bryan group and the Mike Bryan group. We're obviously very familiar with the Bryans, but what was your reaction when you saw that tribute to Bob and Mike with the naming of those groups in London?
It's awesome. I can't think of two guys who are more well-deserving. I think it's funny because all of us who had them planned to come to our tournaments last year, we're probably trying to come up with something unique, some creative way to honor them for their contributions to our event. But I can't think of a better tribute to those guys than to have the groups in the finals, the best of the world, be playing in a group named after them. I'm sure they might feel the same way, but it's pretty neat to see. It's a good honor for sure.
Now, there's a lot of great action on the court in London. There's plenty happening off the court at the ATP Finals, as with a lot of major tournaments. And it's real exciting meeting stuff that you get to be a part of. But you are very involved in a lot of ways with the ATP and its governance and working with other tournaments in that role. So what is it like when you do go and take part in these meetings?
I have always said from the beginning, collaboration is one of the ways we learn. It's one of the ways we get better at our own event. And I think those meetings give us the chance to get together in person and truly have an honest and open discussion about where the tour should go, what it should look like, how we can make improvements. Tennis is one of the few sports around the world that truly is a global sport. We have tournaments that are based all across the world. It's very different from the NFL. They might play a few games in London or a few games in Mexico, but the majority of their players are from the United States. When you look at hockey, it gets a little more global and has that impact, but tennis truly does have a home base in so many countries around the world. So it's interesting to get all of those perspectives in one room. It doesn't always go the way you might want it to go, but it does give everyone the chance to speak up and to be heard. I was just elected to tournament council, which gives me further opportunity to interact with those at a little bit higher level within the ATP. And it's been interesting. It's definitely been an education in governance and how that works. But I think now more than ever is the time for us all to come together. We saw, with NASCAR, they all got together and they were the first sport to come back. There's a lot to be learned from getting together and moving forward as one.
And there are best practices to be taken, as you're saying, from other sports leagues here in the US, but also from other tournaments. And I know you take that opportunity to look to improve US clay as you see what other people are doing. So spinning ahead, what is next? And obviously 2021 is a bit of a question mark still, but what are you looking forward to as we soon turn the calendar into the new year?
Everyone, I think, is hoping for, January 1 of 21 to be, everything's going to go away and we're magically going to be back into what we were in before, normal, if you will. I think ultimately all of us who plan events are having to look at whatever a new normal is, where we can't go backwards. We have to look forward and persevere. And as we look to 21, we're making changes. We're taking our fans into account and making sure that all of our planning takes their health and safety at its utmost priority. We want to make sure that people feel comfortable coming back to the tournament in April. Two of the biggest changes we're making for this year are going digital with our ticketing, which many stadiums are doing. That's something that a lot of people have already become accustomed to, especially now. So we feel that will be a pretty easy transition for our fans. And then as well, we are going cashless on site. So reducing the number of touch points that our fans are encountering as they're on the grounds. Just our ways of ensuring that our fan safety is number one.
A small item of business before we can turn the calendar to 2021 is
if you're asking
Thanksgiving.
me about TikTok, it's no.
Not TikTok, but I'm sure we'll see some great TikToks from people as they have the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. And we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving with US Clay as Fansgiving, because we missed seeing everybody this year. So we're going to take an opportunity on our social feed to celebrate our fans. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. We have the best fans in the world. We would say that every year, any year. I think I mentioned it on our last one. The reason we do this is for the fans. You know, it's 10 days of the year where I get to see people who are friends that I don't see, 350 days of the rest of the year. So it's just a neat opportunity for us to show some of our best fan moments over the last 10, 15 years of hosting this event. It'll be interesting to see what those are. Even I don't know some of them, but you can pull some pictures out of the archive that truly show what a fan-centered tournament we are. And we would hope that our fans would share some as well. If you have a favorite memory or photo, we'd love to see you post that and in response to our photos. I think it's a great way to just share the memories of a time when we weren't able to be together last year, but we're planning for it and want to celebrate our fans and hopefully be back in 21 and be planning for it again.
Bryan, thanks for the time. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Fansgiving to all our US Clay fans. And we'll catch up with you again next month.
Sounds good. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Pete.